Welcome to the 2022 primary election candidate videos, made possible by a partnership between Collin County Votes, which is an initiative of the Collin County Business Alliance and the Allen Frisco, McKinney, and Plano Chambers of Commerce. I'm Leanne Libby, General Manager of Community Impact Newspaper in Plano, and I'm excited to introduce our viewers to Sheena King, who's running for House District 61. Welcome, Sheena.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Well, so we're going to jump right in with the first question. In your own words, what's the role of a state legislator?
It's a great question. So, the role is really to help the people, to help represent the people of the district in which they are sent to Austin to do the work of. So, that's in a nutshell to represent the people, to listen to them, to have a voice for them, to have a communication forum for them to share their concerns and things of interest to them. So, that person can bring those things forward to the Capitol.
Great. Well, so if elected, what would be your top 2 to 3 legislative priorities?
Yeah, and it's hard to narrow it down just to two. I hear from many constituents about many topics, as you can imagine. But for me, it all starts with healthcare. If we don't have the health in our bodies to do any of the things or enjoy any of the benefits that we have, so it all starts with healthcare. So that is number one. There's so many elements of that piece with healthcare. I know we don't have a lot of time to talk about all of those, but the expansion of Medicaid is one of those. Um, Mental health illness, trying to put some parameters in place to help deal with that. Maternal mortality in the state of Texas, that's an issue and a concern. The pandemic, so many elements with just healthcare in general. The cost, another huge one. So healthcare is number one. Right behind healthcare for me is voting. So trying to ensure that everyone has equal and fair access to the ballot box is a main priority. Because again, that opportunity to vote actually helps our constituents be able to have representation, to be able to get the services that they need. And again, it all kind of ties together. So those are probably the top two.
Okay, great. So Collin County is one of the fastest growing counties in the country. What would
Yes.
you say your thoughts are on the growth to date, and what would your priorities be going forward?
We have expansive growth, just phenomenal growth, right? And it is great. It's great. But the concern I have is just keeping pace with that with so many different ways. The infrastructure, there's a lot of traffic congestion that's starting to come up. We see the cost of housing is just exploding as well. The lack of public transportation, for folks who don't have the opportunity to be able to move around and get to where they need to within the county is a concern. Um, there's a few areas. I'm still trying to gather more information. House District 61, the one that I will be representing, actually encompasses 7 different cities. So they all have unique needs and challenges and issues and concerns, but those are kind of the broad ones that kind of touch all of them together collectively.
Well, so you mentioned transportation. What would you say is the biggest transportation issue facing the county, and how would you address it?
Let's start with the fact that we have infrastructure money coming to the state of Texas. We have infrastructure money coming to the county, and we need a better assessment as to where those funds are being allocated. Right now, it seems as though those funds are being allocated to maybe more north and south transportation issues and challenges, but maybe not the east to west. Right. So our county is broad, it's diverse, it's expansive, and we need to make sure that all constituents in all areas are being equally giving the funds to take care of their areas, their communities, to be able to expand the roads and the bridges and the broadband. I know in Collin County, we actually have a very good percent of our residents who actually have access to broadband, but there's still a fair amount that don't. So making sure that that is fair and equal as well across the county. Um, I apologize. Your question was repeat your
It
question
was
one more time. I just want to
transportation,
make sure.
but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's okay. There's a lot of things going on in Collin County to talk about.
yeah.
Moving on to the business community in particular, um,
Hmm.
obviously there's a lot of needs in the business community to continue to ensure economic growth in Collin County. What would you do to help meet those needs for the business community?
Yeah. So with the business community, there's some opportunities, in my opinion, that I've heard from different constituents about just trying to ensure that that is a well-funded, well accessible opportunity for all. So our county is very diverse. We're getting more and more diverse by the day as different companies bring their businesses here. Different employee groups move here, and we just want to ensure that that is equitable, right? That the growth, that the businesses that are coming, the opportunities for the different contractors and vendors, and the community in general, that it represents all of the residents that are here. So ensuring that we have some plans in place to make sure that it's more inclusive, that we have diversity across all of the county, making sure that the businesses are well funded, well attended, well publicized, well marketed equally by the different cities in the county is really a concern. There's a lot of focus on certain businesses and maybe not as much focus and attention and I guess support given to all businesses. So making sure there's equal access to capital, making sure there's equal access to contracts and vendors, and making sure there is equity just in general to ensure again that that diverse pool that Collin County represents is equally represented in all of our businesses, including the opportunities to purchase, to buy here, shop here, and to grow here and bring their businesses here as well.
Great. Well, so you pretty much just answered my next question, which was specifically focused on equity and diversity in Collin County and the business community. So, can you expand a little bit more about what that means to you?
Yeah, so equity, honestly, is just an equal opportunity, right? And I think as we see more diverse communities sprouting up in Collin County and all across, right? All across the county. We just want them to feel welcome. We want them to feel as though they have a place here. We want to ensure that everyone has equal opportunities here. So when we talk about inclusion, that's belonging. That's making sure that you feel belong, right? So one of the things that I've noticed is that there are a variety of programs. There's a variety of marketing materials. There's a variety of access to community events that are happening, but it's still very siloed. When you look at the faces on any of the information, it still doesn't represent the entire community. When I think about even the lines that are drawn within our different counties of redistricting, those lines are really just artificial lines because we all bleed over into one another's counties, cities. So we are really just becoming a melting pot across Collin County. So when I think about Collin County, I see a very beautiful mosaic of all of us collectively just thriving in this community. So it's being able to see that represented not only in the representatives that we send to Austin to represent the people, but also just in every single thing. It's still very siloed in some respects as I look at some of the literature and communications and even the marketing of information that's put out about Collin County. Just making sure that it looks and feels diverse and inclusive, I think would give more equity, would help more people see themselves in the community and understand that there is a place for them here.
Great. Well, so last question. If you were talking to someone from outside of Collin County that was thinking about moving here or maybe moving their business here, what would be your 30-second elevator pitch?
Come on out. It is a
Mhm.
beautiful, beautiful county. There is so much to do, there's so much to see, and there's so much to learn. Our county has so many services, so many opportunities for you and your family to enjoy and to thrive. You will enjoy a diverse, rich experience of so many wonderful, beautiful people who really care about one another. So come on out, bring your family. It is a great place to live, to learn, and to grow.
Well, Sheena, thank you so much for joining us today and allowing our voters the opportunity to hear directly from you on these important issues.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to representing House District 61 as a state representative candidate.